Welcome to Events Clique video tutorial series. In this video tutorial, we're going to show you how to design your event in one of our featured venues and see it in 3D before it happens. Choosing your setup, colors, and decor has never been so easy, as you can now take a virtual 360-degree walkthrough of your event to ensure it is how you envisioned it. Let's get started by clicking on either the link in the left column or the 3D view picture to launch the 3D Event Designer. Once the 3D Event Designer is launched, you have three options. The first option you see is the Select a Venue button, where you can design and see your event in Events Clique's featured venues. The second option is the Create Your Own Event space, where you can insert your own space dimensions if you don't see your venue or would like to design your event in your own home. The third option is My Events, where you can continue working on one of your previously saved event designs. For the purpose of this video, let's click on Select a Venue to take a look at a few of Events Clique's featured venues and decide if one of them may be the perfect fit for our event. First, select the correct drop-down of the state and region you're looking to hold your event in. We're looking to hold ours in California and in West LA, so we're all set. If you select the drop-down and don't see your current location, you will need to go back and click the button Create Your Own Event Space to begin designing your event. But be sure to check back, as we are always adding new locations. Let's scroll through and see some of our options. I am interested in an ocean view for this event, and the Bel Air Bay Club ballroom looks like it may have just what we want. So let's select it and then click the Create This Event and Edit button. Right now, we are viewing the 2D floor plan. Let's view the space in 3D to make sure it's what we want before we begin designing our event. To do this, let's move the camera, which is the teal camera icon, by clicking on it, and while still holding down on your mouse, click it away from the wall. The lens of the camera is your view from eye level, and the curved yellow line is called the rotation handle. It allows you to rotate the positioning of the camera. You can also easily center your camera in the room by clicking on the Tools button and then on the Center Camera button. Now click on the 3D View button to view it in 3D. We have the option to move around the room using the commands at the bottom of the 3D View window, as if we were standing there in person. You can move forward or backwards, right or left, a full 360 degrees around the room, and also look up and down. This venue looks perfect. Let's see it with our colors and setup in mind. To exit the 3D view, click the X in the upper right corner to go back to the 2D view. First, name your event by replacing the text My Event in the upper right-hand corner. We'll call this Reception. Next, let's be sure to save our event by clicking on the Save button at the top. Now let's look at our catalog of items that we can use for our event. First, we must select both the state and the region our event is located in to view products from vendors that serve the area. To do this, let's click on the drop-down for states and select California, and now the drop-down for regions and select West LA South Bay. If your location is not there, select All to use generic items. Now let's click on the first category of items we want to drop into our event workspace. Let's start by selecting the Table category. Now let's scroll down to view our options. Let's drop in a 72-inch table. I actually would like a table with an overlay, so let's delete this table. To delete, simply click on the table and click the plus button, which will open up the item's properties window. Now click the Remove button. You can also delete an item by clicking the Delete or Backspace key on your keyboard. Now let's drop in the 72-inch round table with overlay. I'd like to change the table linen color to match the event colors I had in mind. To do this, we will need to click on the plus icon again to open the table's properties window. You have two color override options to choose from, the table linen and the overlay colors. Click on the overlay color override box to view our color options. For this event, we're going to select navy. We can also change the table linen color. Let's stick with white for the linen. Now click the Apply button to set the colors. Let's view the table in 3D to make sure this is what we really want. First, let's reposition the camera so we can get a full view of the table and the room. Now click on the 3D View button. The colors and table type look like what I had envisioned for this event. Let's click out of the 3D view again by clicking on the X. Now let's add chairs around the table. Go back to our catalog of items and select the chair category. For this event, we're going to add the Chiavari chair with cushion. Drag and drop it into the workspace next to the table. Let's change the chair colors to complement our table linens. Click on the plus icon for the chair attributes. Let's change the cushion color to navy to match the table overlay. And let's change the chair frame color from gold to silver. Click the Apply button to set the colors. Let's take another quick look in 3D. Everything looks good so far, so let's begin setting the table. To make it easy to set a table, let's zoom in on the table. To do this, simply use the navigation controls on the right. It's next to our catalog of items. Click the plus to zoom in. Now let's create another chair. Since I don't want to drop a new chair into the workspace and change its colors again, let's simply duplicate the chair we already have in the workspace. To duplicate a chair, click on the chair and then on the plus icon to open its Properties window. Click the Clone button. The yellow arrow shows you the front of an item. Now you can adjust the chair positioning by clicking on the rotation handle to rotate it and then dragging it in close to the table. Repeat the duplication process for all chairs around the table. I went ahead and did the entire table for us. Now let's do the same thing for place settings. Select the place setting category. Click on the silver place setting with flute and drag and drop it onto the table. Duplicate your place setting around the table. I went ahead and did this for us. To complete our table setting, we just need a centerpiece. Select the centerpiece category and we'll use one of our featured vendors, TikTok Couture Florals, for this event. Let's see how we did. Click the 3D View button. It looks great. Now we need to duplicate this table setting to add the rest of the tables in the room. First, let's zoom back out to view the entire room for spacing purposes. Simply click the square Center button in the Zoom bar to view the entire event space on the screen. To begin duplicating the table settings, click the Group Items to Duplicate button and draw a box around all items you want to duplicate. Now that the entire table setting is highlighted, click the plus sign. You have just created your second set table. While your set table is still highlighted, click and hold on the table and move it to the location you desire. Repeat this with as many tables as you will need for your event. I've gone ahead and added 7 tables in total. Now we need to decide where the dance floor will go. Go back to our catalog, select Dance Floors. Let's drop in a 16-foot by 16-foot acrylic dance floor. Let's rotate it to fit the space. It's just too big for this alcove, but that is an easy fix. Let's edit it by clicking it to open up the Properties window. We can easily change the length and the width to a 12-foot by 12-foot dance floor. Click Apply to set the new dimensions. Now that the dance floor is in place, a head table would complement this room nicely. Let's delete one of the table settings to make room. To do this, simply group a set table as if you were to duplicate it, but instead of clicking the plus icon, click the minus icon. You can also click the delete or backspace key on your keyboard. Now we can add a head table. I have gone ahead and added one for us. Now we're going to add a dessert station. I think it will look best under the window by the dance floor. So let's move the dance floor and drop in an 8-foot table. Let's match the linen color again. And now let's place the desserts on top of the table. Select the desserts category. Let's select a cake from one of our other featured vendors, Vanilla Bake Shop. Let's also drop in cupcake stands and candy jars, which I have gone ahead and done for us. Keep in mind, you can always change the cupcake's frosting color and the candy color in the candy jars by opening the Properties window and selecting a new color. We're almost there. Now for finishing touches, let's add a cocktail area with a lounge. Select the Tables category once again. Click, drag, and drop the Cocktail Table with Overlay into the workspace. Open the Cocktail Table's Properties window to change the overlay color to navy. Now let's add votives on the cocktail table. First, zoom in on your cocktail table, then select the category Decor to click, drag, and drop the votive on top of the cocktail table. Since all decor is set to sit on regular height tables, we'll need to change the distance from the floor for these votives so they sit correctly on the table. Click on the plus icon to open the votive's Properties window. Since a cocktail table is 3 foot 6 inches in height, we'll need to change the votive's distance from the floor to be 3 foot 6 inches in height. Click Apply to set the new height. Let's duplicate this votive 2 more times. That way we have 3 votives on the table that sit at the correct height. Now let's duplicate the cocktail table with the votives 2 more times. Lastly, we'll add in 2 sofas and a coffee table for a little lounge area. The coffee table isn't large enough, so let's change its dimensions. Now that we have finished setting our room, let's view it in 3D to make sure there aren't any changes we want to make. Once again, click the 3D View button. Since we have many items in the event workspace, it may take a minute to load. As we walk around the room, we will see the word rendering, which implies that the items are loading. This is exactly how I want my event to look. Let's take a picture of this 3D view that I can print out or email to others. To take a picture, simply click the screenshot button and the image you see is saved to your computer. I also really like the ocean view, so I want to make sure my event starts early enough in the afternoon for my guests to take advantage of the view. Let's make a note in the Notes section. Click out of the 3D view. Next to our Category tab, you will see a tab for Notes. Click in the text field and make your event notes. You will also notice another tab called Room Features. This tab does not apply to events that are modeled in Events Clique's featured venues. It is used when you create your own event space from scratch with your own dimensions. Let's save our design once again. If I want to slightly alter my setup without starting over, I can click the Duplicate Event button to create a second event with the same setup that I can make changes to. Now let's click on the Print button to create a PDF document that we can give to all our vendors for setup day. Now each vendor will have a copy of the 2D floor plan, the name of the event and any setup notes, and an itemized listing of all products and the quantity of each. Lastly, let's share our event design on Facebook to get our guests excited about the upcoming event. Click on the Facebook icon and enter your username and password. Write a description about your event. This is where you can also ask for any feedback from family and friends. Then click the Share button at the bottom. Now all your family and friends can provide you with real-time feedback by clicking on the link and interacting with your event design. Keep in mind, even if they make changes, it will never alter your original design unless you log in and make the changes in your account. Planning your next event really is that easy and simple. Now join Events Clique and begin designing. Your perfect event is only a click away.